1885. Thomas Edison offers Nikola Tesla $50,000, a fortune, to improve his direct current generators. Tesla works for months, succeeds brilliantly, then asks for payment. Edison laughs. "Tesla, you don't understand American humor." He pays nothing. One funding decision, two different electrical futures for planet Earth. Nikola Tesla was, by any measure, a once-in-a-century mind. At age 28, he could visualize entire machines in perfect detail, rotating them mentally, testing them, finding flaws, without ever touching a tool. He spoke 8 languages. He had a photographic memory. And in 1882, while walking through a park in Budapest, he had a vision that would change everything. Alternating current. AC power could transmit electricity hundreds of miles with minimal loss. Edison's direct current could barely go a mile before dying out. Tesla knew he'd discovered the future. But there was one problem. Tesla was terrible at business, absolutely catastrophic. He trusted everyone, signed bad contracts, and gave away patents like birthday cards. Meanwhile, Thomas Edison was a genius at exactly one thing Tesla wasn't: making money. Edison didn't just invent, he marketed, he monopolized, he crushed competitors. He had built an empire on direct current, and he defended by any means necessary. When Tesla arrived in America in 1884 with 4 cents in his pocket and a letter of recommendation to Edison, he thought he'd found a mentor. Instead, he found a predator. Edison hired Tesla to fix his failing DC generators. The offer? $50,000 if he succeeded, equivalent to about $1.5 million today. Tesla worked obsessively, 18-hour days. He redesigned 24 different DC machines, making them more efficient, more profitable. He delivered everything Edison asked for and more. Then came payday. Tesla asked for his $50,000, and Edison, the man who would become America's most celebrated inventor, said this: "No payment, no apology, just a casual dismissal of months of genius-level work." Tesla quit immediately, and that moment, that betrayal, set the stage for what history calls the War of the Currents. No payment, no apology, just a casual dismissal of months of genius-level work. Tesla quit immediately, and that moment, that betrayal, set the stage for what history calls the War of the Currents. Because he never had what Edison had, money and the ruthlessness to protect it. So, here's our divergence. 1885. Instead of laughing, Edison pays Tesla the $50,000. Maybe he has a rare moment of conscience. Maybe he's afraid Tesla will become a competitor. The reason doesn't matter. Tesla takes the money and immediately does what Edison would never do. He invests every penny into research. No mansion, no luxury, just a laboratory and freedom to build the future he sees in his mind. By 1886, he's filed patents for a complete AC power system. By 1888, he's built the world's first AC generator, and this time he has the capital to manufacture it himself. The War of Currents happens on schedule, but this time, Tesla doesn't need George Westinghouse's backing. He is Westinghouse, and he wins decisively. By 1895, when Niagara Falls is harnessed for power in our timeline, it happens faster and better in this one. Tesla's own company builds the generators. The profits fund his next obsession: wireless power. In our timeline, Tesla demonstrated wireless electricity transmission at Wardenclyffe Tower in 1901, then ran out of money before perfecting it. In this timeline, he has unlimited funding from his AC empire. By 1905, he's transmitting significant amounts of power wirelessly across distances of several miles. By 1910, he solved the efficiency problem. By 1915, while World War I rages in our timeline, this timeline has the first commercial wireless power grid. No power lines, no electrical grid in the traditional sense, just transmission towers broadcasting power like radio waves, and homes with receivers that pull electricity from the air. And because Tesla has funding, his other inventions actually get developed. Radio, Marconi doesn't steal credit. Tesla patents and commercializes it first. X-ray imaging? Tesla develops medical applications in 1900, not the 1920s. Remote control, fluorescent lighting, the basics of radar, all commercialized 20 to 40 years earlier than our timeline because Tesla has what he always lacked: resources and time. Now the timeline really accelerates, because when you advance electrical technology by several decades, everything else that depends on electricity advances too. Computers? In our timeline, the first programmable computer arrives in 1936. In this timeline, with better electrical components available earlier, Turing and others build them in the early 1920s. By 1945, when we're just building ENIAC, this timeline has room-sized computers that actually work reliably. The digital revolution starts 30 years early. Medical technology transforms. MRI machines, which won't exist until the 1970s in our timeline, are developed in the 1950s here. CAT scans, ultrasound, all the electrical diagnostic tools, decades ahead. And here's where it gets interesting. Tesla was obsessed with earthquake prediction machines and atmospheric electricity. With proper funding, he perfects seismic sensors by 1920 and builds the first effective earthquake early warning system. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake kills 3,000 people in our timeline. In this timeline, with 14 years to develop detection, deaths are cut to hundreds, not perfect, but survivable. So, we arrive at today, 2026. What does Earth look like after 180 years of properly funded Tesla? First, the obvious. Wireless power is universal. Your phone never needs charging. It pulls power from the air. Electric cars don't need plugging in. Your entire house is powered by a small receiver the size of a shoebox. No power lines means no infrastructure vulnerability. Hurricanes don't knock out electricity because there's nothing physical to destroy. Wildfires don't start from downed power lines. The digital revolution happened in the 1950s, not the 1980s, which means personal computers exist by 1965. The internet launches in 1975, smartphones by 1995. We're 30 years ahead in every technology that depends on computing and electricity. AI, which is emerging now in our timeline, has been developing since the 1990s here. Medical technology is staggering. Cancer screening tools that won't exist in our timeline for another decade are routine here. Gene therapy techniques are perfected. Average human lifespan is 92, not 79. And Tesla himself? He doesn't die broke and forgotten in 1943. He lives comfortably to 1950, celebrated as the man who electrified the world. His face is on the $100 bill. His company powers half the planet. Children learn his name in elementary school. All because someone paid what they owed. Sometimes history doesn't turn on great battles or natural disasters. Sometimes it turns on whether you pay your debts. The question isn't whether Tesla was a genius. He was in both timelines. The question is, how many other geniuses are we failing to fund right now?